Welcome to the Freedom Founder Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Duggar. Now, I've heard it said recently that life is too short to be miserable. Now, that is a quote from my guest today, Natalie Bailey. She is a property developer and coach and a mentor. She has over 10 years of experience in running businesses, including bars, gyms, e-commerce, and she now has a property development business with her business partner and her mom, Paula. She helps others to become more confident and successful in health, wealth, and happiness so that they can live the life that they dream of. She's on a mission to help combat loneliness with the Better Together message. She helps busy, lost, and stuck entrepreneurs to truly connect with themselves with the Confident Entrepreneurs Club, her mastermind groups and retreats. Living between Mallorca and London, she embodies everything she teaches. With a background in personal training, health and fitness is high on the agenda, with wealth creation and happiness going hand in hand to create a confident and successful life. Natalie, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, Zach, thank you. What an introduction.
When you've got a lot to have behind you, it's important to share that information. So
thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to get into the conversation, and I'd like to start with just asking about the entrepreneur journey. When you got started on that path, I mean, you had some other activities in your life that perhaps weren't as fruitful as the current activities. So talk a little bit about pre-current positive activities and what you were doing and kind of what point you got to, which then led you to start on the path you are now.
Awesome. So I think I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit in me. I've never really gone with the grain in terms of like, this is what you do, follow the rules. Yeah. Now, that said, I loved school and I really enjoyed learning and education. That's something else. But when I got to sixth form, I did my A-levels and I felt like I'd had enough of formal education. And so I went and got a job, and then I got another job, and then I got another job and another job. So within, I think, the space of something like, when did I leave? So in the space of about 4 years, I must have had about 10 jobs.
Okay.
So I obviously realised that there was something missing, something wasn't working. And so I quit that and got on a plane and came to Magaluf. And for those of you in the US, Magaluf is the party central of Mallorca, but it's very, very different there now. I must say, I walked up there recently and it's not what it used to be. And like looking for adventure. The world is a big old place. I love to meet people and explore. Travel is high on my list of values. And so through this, I got to meet different people, started to learn the language, and ended up running a bar. I went from PR, which was basically standing on a street, like trying to get people in the bar, which I absolutely detested, to managing the bar, opening that particular bar during the day as well. And then to the following year to running a friend of mine's bar. And then that went on for a while. And with that came, in that environment, degenerates. I was one of them. And that kind of like 24-hour party lifestyle. And not to say that I wasn't still good at what I did. People would come to the bar and say, "Is this your bar?" Like, no. They're like, why not? So I learned a lot from, in terms of running a business, how to manage people, how to deal with difficult people. Drunk people can be difficult, but also, stock control and people management, time and all sorts of things. So doing that has given me a lot of life skills and life lessons that I'm glad that I have, because if I didn't go through that experience, I wouldn't be able to do what I do now. But then turning that around when things went wrong and going, what's the complete opposite to how I'm living now? Which is how I ended up in the gym industry. Because it's the complete opposite to bar industry.
Yeah. Well, and you must have shown or demonstrated that passion for the work you were doing, a different industry, but you were clearly doing something where people are asking you, is this your bar? So you were demonstrating that ownership in the sense of just the way that you put your work ethic towards the work that you were doing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for saying that. That's a really good point, actually. If you're doing anything in life, do it coming from a place of service, but like leading from the
yeah,
front and
hmm,
going, this is how I would want to be treated. And then giving that experience to your customers, to your clients, or whoever that is, so
yeah,
that they leave with a great memory, a great experience. And a lot of people think that, you know, bars is just about serving drinks, but it's
yeah,
not. It's about creating that experience. So
right,
equally, I took that into the gym. When you come to one of my classes, I want you to leave feeling great. I want you to feel good. I want you
yes,
to want to come back, even though you're sore and you're going to hate me, and like, because we all hate our PTs,
yeah,
but we love them too. And which is what I do now with like our masterminds and retreats. I lead from the front and constantly looking to develop myself, have great
yeah.
conversations with people like yourself, and help to connect with people and give them that experience that they remember and then they want to keep coming back.
Yeah. So what was that tipping point or the decision point that brought you from the bar environment and that party lifestyle that you were engaged into, where you moved into the personal training and away from that scene?
So a lot of my friends were of the same ilk as me,
Hmm.
and we were all, it was like we were supporting each other, but we weren't really. We were enabling each other's
Sure.
lifestyles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of my friends got arrested at one point, and
Okay.
that was a very difficult time. And I realized that when I had to make a phone call to one of my friends' mums,
Hmm.
I couldn't put my mum through that. I couldn't go
Sure.
and let somebody go, well, Natalie's been arrested or she's in hospital or something's happened because of that kind of environment.
Right.
So it was in that moment that I really thought about, what am I doing with my life? I'm here supposedly being the life and soul of the party, but when I really looked at it, I realized I was quite depressed and very lonely, which is why
Okay.
we are on a mission to combat loneliness. And a lot of people use like that party scene to be seen, and to feel that connection with others, because when everyone's having a good time, that's what it feels like. But you can be in a crowd of people and still feel
Hmm.
lonely, and very, very much alone. So
Yeah.
I looked into what I was doing, and I looked into the benefits of exercise. I thought I'd been in and out of the gym on and off my entire life. It was always something
Hmm.
that I wanted to look good.
Yep.
But then I realized I also wanted to feel good. And the benefits of exercise heavily outweigh anything you can do in a bar. Like
Yeah.
it just is. And like exercise is fantastic for depression. I did an exercise referral diploma with my PT training to help people with certain medical conditions. And the
Yeah.
more that I did, the better I got, the stronger I got physically, but mentally as well. So that tipping point of going, someone might need to phone my mum, to it was
Hmm.
it. I can't
Yeah.
do this to my family.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I liked what you had said to me previously when we spoke before. You can't find happiness in a bottle unless it's a water bottle. So
Big,
it's
big water bottles.
right. So you,
I mean, this is it, right? Happiness comes from within, and I really
yep.
believe that happiness is a choice, and we can decide to get up and be grateful for being alive and for having a roof over our heads and for the connections that we have, may they be small or large. Or we can choose to complain and moan about what's going on, what the government are doing, what the economy is doing, or we
Yeah.
can choose to take control and be, okay, I'm grateful for this. This is not working. So let's work on the bits that aren't working, but still be grateful and happy in the meantime.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And so you began training yourself, but also training others and bringing people into classes and wanting them to leave feeling happy, positive about being there. Yes, physically sore and hating you for that part of it, but at the same time wanting to come back because they wanted that experience. Now, things continued to progress from there to add in some of the property development, but the confidence coaching, the Gold Star Life. Talk a little bit about how that continued to progress forward in the areas of business that you are involved in now.
Yeah. So because of everything that happened, and my nan passing away as well, that really brought Mum and I together, and that put us into a different world. So Mum's always been interested in property. She'd done some training, and she dragged me along to an event, and literally like, no, I don't want to go. But then from there, the light bulb went on, and we realized we could create a legacy together, like whilst we're both still alive, not getting to the end and like that's it, like, and being remembered after. We want to be able to do something amazing with our lives. So then going through that, talking to more people in the entrepreneurial space, in the property world, it can be very lonely. People do courses and then they start something and then they don't finish it. Some people are great starters, but poor finishers.
Right.
You know? And the more and more I saw of this, the more I realized that people weren't taking action for a lack of self-esteem and a lack of confidence. Now, the thing is, when you start something new, you're not going to be good at it. You're just not. It's just brand new to you. So the more you practice, the better you become. But if you don't go and practice, you're never going to improve. And I realized that something I'm very good at is helping people to have that experience and to feel good about themselves. Sure. So I tapped back into all of my previous trainings and how I'd helped people before, because I come to this point and realized everything I've ever done has been about not just me having a good time, but providing a service and helping people in whatever capacity that was at that time. So I was on a mastermind retreat, and one of my mentors said to me about confidence coaching and creating an online course. It's like, this is something we could do. And this was in Dubai in 2018. So that sat and it percolated for a while. And I spent the next little while, next few months, like looking at things, looking at people, where do they need help, doing some research and going, right, this is it. This is what I need to be doing to help people. And from there, the confidence coaching came. And then that evolved, as you said earlier, with the health, wealth and happiness. The more we did with property, the more we did with business, the more we realized, you know, there are so many masterminds out there for just business. There are so many retreats for just health. But actually, your life, you are not just your business. You are not just your health. And if you're not happy doing the things that you're doing, you're not going to be confident in going forwards to making change. So I've done something that I don't see anywhere else, and this is the feedback that we get, is I've never been on a mastermind like yours. I've never done something like this, because we look at all of the aspects, and it's been a bit likened to therapy, some of it, because we talk about like life. When you're so busy in your business, you're not then focused maybe on your health or your relationship. So then you start to things start to unravel and fall apart, and then you start to lose your confidence. So what we do is help people put everything together, and some things are going to take priority sometimes. Like at the moment, my health is my main priority. And once I'm better, then my business is going to take priority again. But it's then just helping people to understand these things, that you can have a balance, but then you'll need to push in one area and pull back in another area at some points. Yeah.
That sounds also like a great way to prevent burnout, which is a topic that a lot of people talk about in regards to somebody who is so exhausted from the day-to-day activities, especially as it relates to the stress of work. And they're probably not focused a lot on their health and relationships. And so you're kind of considering the whole part of somebody's life, and that confidence and consideration of those areas that need to also be stable as part of the package.
Yeah, it's like prevention is better than cure. And knowing that you've got the tools in your toolbox, even if you're not using them at the moment, if you've got those tools that you know you can pick up on when you start to notice the signs, you see the trigger points coming, which is something that I've learned in myself. And like, I know when I'm doing too much, my body starts to go, my brain, and I get triggered very easily. I'm like, right, okay, so I need to stop this and start doing this.
Yep. Yep. And then Gold Star Life, the name, where does that come from?
I love this. I love this question. So in primary school, when you did well, when you got like
Yep.
10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, you got a gold star.
Yep.
So your reward system was having a gold star. And when I started my PT business, I was like, who doesn't want rewards? Why not have gold
Right.
stars as adults, right? So
Yep.
that's what we did. And we created Gold Star.
I love that. I think it's great. And I think absolutely everybody does still need that reinforcement of the Gold Star life and the encouragement to continue to push forward in all aspects. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Do you remember what it's like being a kid and you've got your sticker chart on the fridge and you've done something and you get a reward? Why don't we do that as adults?
right.
And
Right.
it's like a bit of regression in terms of like remembering to play, remembering to reward yourself, remembering to try new things and fall over. Like kids fall over all the time.
Right.
Right? We as adults,
Absolutely.
our falling over comes in the form of a business not working or not being able to lift so much one week or falling out over a business deal. But you can still get up and you can still carry on. So if you add an element of play and reward around it, then you'll do better. So give yourself a sticker sheet.
Yeah, it's probably healthier than rewarding myself with cake. It probably feels better too in the long run as well. So.
In the long run, yeah. I mean, if you want to eat some cake, do it, but just not every day.
All right, sounds good. If you were to be asked by someone who is just new and starting to get into business and wanting to start a small business, along the way, we all learn different new lessons and tips and ideas and have suggestions. What kind of suggestions or tips do you give to somebody who is just getting started in business?
I would look at why you want to start a business. So that main purpose is so important, because without that, you're not going to have the drive to make it happen. And it needs to be bigger than I just want to pay the bills or I don't want to work for somebody else. Okay, but why do you want to make sure the bills are paid? Why don't you want to work for somebody else? Why do you want to be your own boss? What's the purpose behind that? And that will tell you what you should or could be doing. And then it's thinking, what do you want to spend your days doing? So we closed a business a little while ago because we just hated it. I didn't enjoy it. So what's the point of me doing this just to make money if I'm not enjoying the tasks I'm doing? As you know, life's too short to be miserable, right?
Yes.
So look at what do you want to spend your days doing? Do you want to be doing lots of admin sat at the desk, or do you want to be out and about meeting people? Do you enjoy admin? Do you enjoy technology? Do you want to get outside in nature as much as possible? What's the kind of lifestyle that you want from this business? Now, not all business is about creating multi-million-dollar companies. That's fantastic, obviously. Some people, a lifestyle business, and that's what you want, and that's what you want to create, and that's for you. That's perfect. So work out what does your perfect working day look like? Not the perfect day if you had unlimited resources, but your perfect working day. So for me, it would be getting up when I wake up and going to the gym, eating the food that I know I enjoy, that's already cooked, doing my mastermind and having calls and doing podcasts. Like that's a perfect working kind of day for me. And then going to bed, hopefully sleeping.
Yes. That's a good point. So, sometimes things do run through the mind at night and may prevent sleeping, or the ideas continue to cycle and
no, don't they? So if that's the case, then have a notebook by your bed and write things down, get it out, or maybe just journal at the end of the day, and then that should hopefully help to clear your mind to allow you to rest. One of the things I do really struggle with is sleep, so things like that help.
Sure. Yep. Now, for somebody who comes to one of your masterminds or retreats, what's a big thing that they walk away from, or what do you hear kind of feedback that you're provided?
Yeah, great question. And a lot of it is having the clarity and the focus to create what they really want to create. So many people come in confused, stuck, not knowing how to do all what they want to do, or how to do what they want to do, or what they want to do. So one of the things that always comes up is I now have the clarity and the space and the focus to be able to create this thing. I mean, and it's also sometimes it's the creation of the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's that finding the why and the purpose and then going, okay, so what can I create out of that? And this is something that our mastermind group's actually very good at, is what do I want to do? What do I enjoy? And then we create that product, we create that service, and they go out and do it and make it happen.
Clarity and confidence to create. I think that's what I got from that. Those 3 C's: clarity,
I need to write that down.
confidence, clarity and confidence to create. I think that is absolutely important. I think we often are so stuck and muddled with our thoughts and what we're trying to accomplish and do, and not taking that time to step back and to really evaluate and to get that clarity. And like you had said too, that confidence is such a key part to be able to then take that next step to create that success story, which is going to inevitably have some ups and downs, especially on the front end, because if you've not done that thing before, you're going to fail sometimes. And it's going to be a lot of practice and learning to get there. So
you need to give yourself permission to do these things as well, and understand that you are going to fall over sometimes, but just as when you were a kid, you get back up and you carry on.
Yes, absolutely. And you get that gold star because you're continuing to make the effort and moving forward.
Exactly.
Now, I like to ask this question of all my guests. And if you were to be handed $1 million today to invest in your business or another endeavor you're working on, no strings attached, what would you do with that and why?
And I'd probably ask why no strings attached, because there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Well, hypothetical situation.
I would buy property.
Yeah.
But in terms of personal and business development, I would invest in my own mentors. Like we got so much from our mastermind retreats that we attended. That spending a significant portion of that would make a huge difference, like investing in further speaker training, business mentorship. And one of the things that I want to be doing in the future is business acquisition. So, looking at profitable businesses that are working, so they don't have to shut down, and then we continue that learning that way. So property, personal and business development, and maybe a day in the sun somewhere.
Yes, right. That is also important to have that rest and relaxation as well.
It is. And vitamin D is so important for you.
Yes, definitely. Now, if anyone wants to find out more about what you are doing or to connect with you, what's the best way for someone to connect with you?
You can find me on all social media, Natalie Bailey. I've got long red hair. You cannot miss me. My link tree is linktree / Natalie Arabella Bailey as well. And there you can find information about the club. And there's also, I have a podcast too called Confidence Mastery, if you want to help increase your confidence too.
Awesome. I will definitely be adding those links to the show notes and making sure that anybody who wants to connect with you can. But Natalie Arabella Bailey, Arabella. Arabella. Okay, got it. Well, make sure we get that.
It's a very standout. You can't forget that, and the hair is now part of the personal brand, so it has to stay
forever. Well, I love it. Okay. Well, I really, yes, absolutely. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time today and just taking some time to talk a little bit about your journey and experience and sharing that life is too short to be miserable. So let's get out there, take opportunities to find clarity, to build confidence so that you can create. So thank you again, Natalie.
Thank you so much. I very, very much enjoyed this. I hope that all of the listeners have, and make sure that if you have enjoyed this, don't forget to share it as well, because you know, everybody could need a boost of confidence. We don't know what's going on, do we? So thank you.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Amazing.